What's up, hipsters? This is Meg back with more Gen Z notes on the Country Hipster podcast. Episode 23, The Pogues, If I Should Fall from Grace with God. Okay, first of all, Spotify only has the expanded version, so I had extra tracks. For some reason, I really thought there were more of the songs that everybody plays on this album. My band personally, a lot of the other Irish bands in the local Philly area play a lot of Pogues covers. I really thought more of those were on this album, and they weren't. There were only 3 songs off of this album that had made it onto my liked playlist on Spotify. Thought that was a little odd. I really thought there were more that I knew off of this particular album, specifically because of the name. Firstly, Metropolis is a little weird. For an instrumental, it doesn't really feature anything effectively. There's so many good musicians in this band. I really thought they would have picked something to feature really highly. This particular song didn't do it. I also think I like the Birmingham 6 version of Broad Majestic Shannon a lot better than the original version. The lead parts in that particular song, Joe Arnold does them so much better than the actual band members do them on whistle and accordion. They just sound so much better on fiddle. I might be a little biased as a fiddle player, but that's just my opinion. Worms was very odd. I'm not sure exactly what that was supposed to add to the album, but it was there, so there's that. As part of the expanded version of the album, Irish Rover and Mountain Dew were really cool collabs with the Dubliners. I like them. They're a fantastic band. It was cool getting to see 2 of these really iconic Irish bands play together, especially since they had so much influence over my personal experience as an Irish musician. Shane Bradley was also a nice little waltz. I could definitely see that being part of an old Irish music, like a Quiet Man-esque sort of a something. I really liked Turkish Song of the Damned a lot more than I expected to based on the title and the first couple of bars. I did notice between this particular song and a couple from Paddy's Well, which is a local Irish band, previously featured Paul Moore prior to their disbandment. So the Pogues had Fiesta and Sketches of Spain. Paul Moore Band had a song, Paddy's Well at the time, had a song called Jacinta that had this very Hispanic Latin sort of a feel to it. I'm not sure what the fascination was between the Hispanic Latin feel and Irish music. I'm sure there's some sort of historical context that I'm not familiar with, but I thought it was an interesting connection between the two. Also, though, where did Shane MacGowan go for South Australia? I didn't know anyone else in the band did vocals besides Shane MacGowan. It really seemed like his vocals would really fit with that song. Just my opinion. He just kind of went poof for that song. I really thought he should have been there, but okay. Overall, 8 out of 10. I did really enjoy the album. Great, iconic Irish album overall. Episode 24, In Excess Kick. This was so very 80s. A lot of the instrumental feel seems interchangeable with Let's Hear It for the Boy and Jump, which are also very, very, very iconic 80s songs. I thought for a second I knew the song I Need You Tonight, but I think it just might be because the instrumental riff was sampled in something else. I think it might have been from the 1975, but I'm not positive on that one. It almost feels like I should be doing the Judd Nelson air fist pump at the end of The Breakfast Club, or Dancing in the Library with Molly Ringwald, or even going crazy in the warehouse gymnastics scene with Kevin Bacon in Footloose. It's just such a very iconically 80s kind of an album. 6 out of 10 for me. As much as I love 80s music, it just wasn't quite hitting the same way I expected it to with other similar songs. Episode 25, Paul Simon, Still Crazy After All These Years. To date, the only Paul Simon solo work I've been familiar with was You Can Call Me Out, which was on my dad's repeat playlist of driving me home from dance class when I was in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and it was super catchy. I thought it was cool because it was dad music. This one is incredibly different and much more stereotypically 70s than You Can Call Me Out. the number of times my grandpa has said slip out the back jack as a way of saying, okay, let's go, it's time to leave. You'd think I would have asked him where it came from, but no, I just accepted it as another pop-ism. It was kind of cool figuring out that it was from 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. It's just neat knowing where things come from that people in my family say at random and expect that everybody knows where it's from. It was Gone at Last was also super catchy. Definitely would have made my top 3 if I was picking a top 3 from this album. Other than that, it's a very slow, mellow kind of album. Doesn't really do a whole lot for me. 5 out of 10 overall. I think that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for more updates.